What's going on, guys? My name is Judson and welcome to my new YouTube channel. I'm so glad to have you here and look forward to lots of videos in the future and getting to share my experiences playing guitar with you guys and look at a bunch of gear, look at a few guitars, and then look at some songs too, and hopefully we'll all learn a little bit of something along the way. So I thought for today it would be really fun just to kind of do a pedal board walkthrough video, just show y'all kind of what I use day in and day out on my rig and kind of how that looks, especially geared towards worship music and kind of what I use up at church. And so this is going to kind of serve as a little bit of a double video for today because in addition to my pedals I use my HX Stomp quite a bit, and I run amp sims on that, and I also run it just as a regular pedal board too with a real live actual amp. Whoa. And so we're just going to kind of walk through all the pedals that I have, their functions, how I use them, and explore a few tones today. So today the guitar that I'm going to be using is my Fano ML6. This is kind of a tribute to Gibson SG. These are Lawler Imperial humbucker pickups, and they sound really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my clean tone, and then we'll get started. Alright, so now we're over in pedalboard view mode. So as you can see, I am running my HX Stomp over here. And so for the amp sim that I'm using on it right now, I have the kind of a American Fender style blackface amp. It's kind of modeled, in my opinion, after a little bit more of a deluxe reverb. And then for the cab, I have one of the Ownhammer 112 Tyler amps, IRs going. So here's what my clean tone sounds like with no pedals on at all. And the bridge pickup. Alright, so the first pedal in my chain is actually this one over here, and this is just a Boss chromatic tuner. I'm actually barely using it right now just because the tuner on the HX Stomp is so effective, and it's just lights up real bright like that. It's really easy to see, and so I kind of prefer using that one. So this kind of just acts as a little bit more of a buffer. But the next pedal in my chain is the pale green compressor right here, and I really like this one because it doesn't have a whole lot of noise and it just does the compression job real well. So here's how it sounds. Alright, and then the other one that stays on all the time when I'm playing is this Jackson Audio Prism preamp, and I really like this pedal. The only thing I have against it is I don't like how it has a little bit of a lag in starting up, and so I couldn't ever use it as a full-time overdrive down the road. But here's how it sounds in conjunction with the compressor. Alright, so there's those two pedals on their own, and for the next part I'm actually going to go ahead and jump over to my reverb and delay over here on the left. So for my delay I have the Source Audio Nemesis delay, just really, really powerful delay. It's got tons of features. I will typically leave it on either the digital delay or on the tape delay setting. And so here's what that sounds like with just the delay going. I've got it on a tape delay right now. Then right above it I have the Specular Reverb version 2 from GFI Systems. It's a great sounding reverb, especially for kind of praise and worship style, modern praise and worship. Here's how those two pedals sound together. So that's pretty much my clean tone all of the time. And now we're going to go over and I'm going to show you guys what I'm using for my overdrives. So the first one is going to be this Ryra clone, It's really modeled after a Klon, and it gets a really good tone. So pretty transparent overdrive. You can see I've got the gain dialed way back, and so it just kind of adds as a little bit more oomph to my sound. So. Then the next pedal in my chain is going to be this Greer amp slide speed, and I actually will stack the two of these quite a bit, but I'm going to show you what it sounds like on its own first. So just a really fat, organic sounding kind of tube amp driven type of tone. Here is how it sounds stacked with the Klon. Still real transparent, you can tell what I'm playing, but it adds just a lot more. So I'll use that for kind of lead lines and octaves quite a bit. So like. And then the last overdrive pedal I have in my chain is going to be this Walrus Audio Voyager, and this was actually my first overdrive pedal ever, and I've got it cranked pretty loud right now. It's just kind of a third gain stage. I'll use it for octaves a lot, so like. Works really well with the Lawler humbuckers too. So there's that, and then this last pedal right here is a ZVEX Effects Super Hard-On. I use it as just kind of a little bit of a clean boost, and so here's how it is. Back to the middle position on my guitar, just there's without the ZVEX, and here it is with. Just gives the clean tone just a little bit more going for it there. So, and then over here, here's a couple effects that I have programmed into the HX Stomp as a little bit more modulation effects. This is kind of a univibe, real subtle type of sound, and I'll use this a lot for just playing chords, kind of background stuff. So. Give it a little bit more reverb. Here's a shimmer reverb. So that's that one. And then going back to my normal reverb setting, this is another reverb built into the HX Stomp. It's just really saturated, kind of long trail. I use it a lot for tremolo stuff, so. Kind of like that. So that's really a pretty brief summary of my pedal board and what I do, and really, especially in regards to kind of praise and worship genre. And this is kind of how I run at church pretty much all the time right now. Alrighty guys, well thanks for staying tuned with me and seeing what I'm doing on my pedal board right now. Hope you guys will watch for future videos. I know I definitely want to talk more about what I've learned about the importance between lead and rhythm players, and maybe some more advice on just kind of how I find chord shapes and how I play worship music up at church. So thanks so much. We'll see you next time.